So you know that feeling that's kind of like a simmering, bubbling, fluttering inside? You think it's your stomach, and then you realize it's a bit higher in your chest. And you would say it's your heart, except that in truth you really don't know where it's coming from. I've felt this sensation at various moments over the past week. It's as if something connects or realigns with greater clarity, and it's almost like you can feel your future expanding inside you. The training that I have undergone in the past week has, I think, both broadened and focused the way I see the world, the international development system, and the role that I may play during this coming year, zooming in and zooming out. In on the stories and insights of social innovators and travelers, young and old, oftentimes who happen to be sitting right across from me or standing just a few feet away. And out on the sheer scale, complexity, and depth of the problems to be faced, the work to be done, opposing systems to be reconciled, and of course, adventures to be had. 1/5 of the world's population consumes over 75% of its resources, Professor Abernathy taught us during our first session on development, along with other important insights, such as the fact that not all cultures value upward change and mobility. Joel Segre introduced us to the idea of sustainable projects which balance social impact with profitability. And the next day we were inspired by the actual impact of existing NGOs such as Kiva and Room to Read. On Saturday evening, we skipped the usual delicious buffet for an exercise inspired by Oxfam International, designed to assimilate global inequality around the dinner table. By randomly drawing slips of paper labeled upper, middle, or lower income, the 10 of us dined on small bowls of rice, 5 on rice and beans, and only 2 on the usual multi-course wholesome meal that we enjoy 3 times a day. 25,000 children die from hunger every day, we were reminded. Coming to the realization that in that moment I was perfectly content to be eating just a bowl of rice, just for a change. I felt frustration at the inadequacy of my understanding of hunger and the fact that numbers can inspire only partial awareness. But the question we all really want to answer is what exactly can we, as 17, 18, and 19-year-old Americans, the founding fellows of Global Citizen Year, achieve in all of this? Probably not all of what we might have had in mind a few months ago when we first submitted our applications and started to dream big. It made perfect sense when Tori said it for the first time during one of our conference calls in August. How can we, or any foreigner for that matter, walk into our host communities and presume that we have the right or the ability to change lives? My understanding of what a foreign volunteer should be in the developing world has certainly taken on new forms in this past week. Stepping off the podium of responsibility, moral obligation, and power, and down to earth, being reflected in the countless individuals who have sat across the table from us and told their stories. The man who started a foundation or designed a better lens to improve cataract surgery. The woman who traveled the world filming and critiquing international aid. And not to forget, the cook working in the kitchen back at IONS, who happens to have spent many years filming genocide in Cambodia, Rwanda, and Sudan. The humility of these inspirational individuals never failed to strike me. The past 10 days have certainly prepared us to enter our host communities as ambassadors and especially as learners, or, recalling Michael's teabag metaphor, ready to absorb as much knowledge as we can. Unexpected flavors, sights, smells, ideas, new notions of etiquette, prosperity, possession, happiness, and family. Absorb it all and then learn how to share with blogs, photographs, and videos, and then with phone calls, speeches, and conversations when we return. For I think we've all come to realize that this is where our true impact will be, at least for now. And it's no small or impossible part to play, to inspire other Americans to hear the word Africa and think of more than safari, or to look at South America for more than bananas and El Dorado. It's a small world after all, we always say, but rarely do we remind each other that in reality, well, it's actually pretty big, and the opportunity is endless.
I was spawned in the stomach of a sleeping giant, a starving beast, where greed and EBT cards feed the hungry, and streets move at the speed of money with highways through my hood and landfills under my feet. And when I walk, cracks in the concrete turn to lips and they speak. So as I blaze my trails out of poverty, I always listen to the wisdom of pothole prophecies, because there's advantages to not growing up privileged. And everybody wants to know why I'm so different, and I tell them it's because I see in binary code. To see life for what it is, a systematic pattern of green ones and zeros, because I've survived the asphalt. And now I'm ready for the future. There have been generations before mine that many said would change the world. So many that the notion of changing the world has become cliche. And they might have even believed it, but there's a difference when you have to live it, because for the children of the 90s, the 21st century is not a science fiction movie. No flying car mentalities, no traveling at warp speed, no, because we will see empires crumble, falling on the masses and human doings who have to rise from the rubble and try to become human beings again. We must solve problems that we have inherited, and the only ones who can do it are the leaders. Those with the power in their palms to break down all the social constructs that divide us and mold optimism into hope. The other day, one of my good friends called me a young prophet. But I didn't let it go to my head. I just let it linger on my neck, the same place where future generations breathe at. No sensations are a constant reminder of my purpose in life. And yeah, I'm not a prophet, but I know one thing is for certain, that things will come full circle. So I spend my time becoming well-rounded, and I span the globe in a perfect 360 so my impact creates a revolution before revolving bullets from rebel army barrels have to. This opportunity has changed the way I think about activism. I failed algebra in school, but now I feel like a mathematician, because I've come up with a perfect algorithm to show both sides to a very unbalanced equation without imposing my values, because I have little to give but much more to learn. And every time I think about it, the feeling burns in my chest like a Molotov cocktail waiting to be thrown all the way to Senegal, because we are the luckiest kids in America. And I feel blessed to be mentioned in the same breath as these founding fellows.